Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Charter of the City of Richmond Heights,
the Charter of the City of Richmond Heights,
and all laws of said city.
and all laws of said city.
And I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties
And I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of
police patrolman
of the City of Richmond Heights,
of the City of Richmond Heights,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
during my continuance in said office,
during my continuance in said office,
as I shall answer the call.
as I shall answer to God.
Traditionally, the chief does a little badge ceremony here.
Yeah, first let me say a few words. Don Stoker is come to us. He started right away. He had his police training with the Sheriff's Department as a correction officer for 8 months. He was with Robinson Memorial Hospital Police Department before he came to us. Kenny Claypack does not have police training, so he has the joyous honor of going to the Ohio State Highway Patrol Academy in February at an 18-week school. Kenny's really starting out. Don's got his feet a little bit wet, and maybe knows a little bit more what to expect than Kenny does. The civil service process we go through to hire police officers is rather extensive. You do an extensive background check and psychological exam, polygraph, interviews. We really run the guys through the mill. We're looking for the best people. And I'm looking at it in the long term, not the short term. Certainly when we hire somebody, we know that we hire quality people that are going to be here for a career. And I think we've done a good job doing it. We're glad to have these two individuals with us based on what we've been able to ascertain with their backgrounds. They're going to be, they're going to fit right in. They're coming into this field when law enforcement is going through a rather tough time right now. And I think it's, it's a matter of things that go on in society from time to time. And police departments are always right in the social fiber of change. I think a lot of it, quite frankly, is just the attitude of irresponsibility and issues kind of taken over things. People are always looking for someone else to blame for their bad decisions. People feel entitled and they don't get what they want. Again, they're blaming other people. And I think that's all kind of coming to a head. I think that's why we're having some of the issues in our society as we do. Of course, police departments is always on the front line of that. I always read a little poem, and before I do that, I'll let the people that they've chosen to pin their badge on do that first, and then I'll read this poem. The poem was something I saw in the back of a badge catalog years ago, and I just think it really speaks right to the point of what it means to be a police officer, what it means to wear a badge, the responsibility that goes with it. The criminal justice system is a complicated thing, and in some respects we're at the bottom of the food chain when it comes to that. At the same time, nothing happens in the criminal justice system until a police officer does something. So someone in law enforcement takes some type of action, nothing really happens. So in one sense, we're at the bottom, but at the same time, we're obviously one of the most important aspects of the whole criminal justice system. Don, I believe you might have Heather. Heather, if you could come forward. We have a trained paramedic on hand.
Yeah, but it's still good.
And Lizzie? Careful, I'll put that one around. All right, very good. Actually, I have a framed copy of this poem for the The name of the poem is "This Is Your Bag." It was lifeless, made of metal. The dye is stamped in rough stock, shaped it with the original design, and inscribed on it the word police. It has been plated, polished, and sold for profit. Now it is yours. It is a symbol of Americanism. It is law, order, justice, and freedom. It is the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, equal resume, and the Pledge of Allegiance. The badge lives. It is a courageous defender, brave, noble, wise, and strong. It laughs and it cries. It knows fear and it knows tragedy. It represents fairness, honesty, and dependability. Possession of it transforms into citizen and sentinel, guarding the safety and welfare of others. Display it with dignity, wear it with pride, stand tall behind it, defend its principles, emulate the qualities it represents. Treasure it, polish it, and keep it clean. The reflection of the badge is one of hope, peace, and security. Respect your badge, and others will too. It shows in a field that you are going to be able to make a difference. And I read a story one time that kind of brought that home. And a guy was walking along the beach one day and he noticed this little girl. And she was picking up starfish and throwing them back into the ocean. And the guy walked up to her and says, little girl, what are you doing? And he said, well, the tide has washed all these starfish onto the beach. And if they don't get back into the water, they're going to die. So the guy kind of laughs and he says, there's hundreds of these. You'll never get all of those. You'll never save them all. And the little girl looked up at him, picked up another starfish, and threw it in the ocean and said, I made a difference for that. That's what it's about. You never know when you're going to impact somebody's life. And he certainly has public safety, whether it be firefighters or police officers, certainly have an opportunity to do that. Thank you, and congratulations.
And then we'll do recess and then we'll do reports. So. There's something on that wall? Okay, we'll see. There's something else. Is there something else? Yeah, that's it.
Key. And I'll just continue my report.
No, you lost your time.
I'll try to keep it brief. We are wrapping up our final interviews for two openings in finance, for the payroll clerk and for the accounts payable clerk. We also have placed ads and job openings for fire safety inspector and have received several promising resumes for candidates. Also pleased to announce that Jim Urankar has accepted the position for the assistant building
Oh my
commissioner.
God, that's excellent.
And so
Excellent.
they're planning that he would start on February the 9th.
Excuse me, did you say for assistant building commissioner?
Yes.
Wow, great.
And we also have completed agreement to share the building inspectors on an emergency basis with South Euclid. So we're looking forward with great cooperation and relationship with our neighbors in South Euclid. We have signed a website agreement with Cuyahoga County to assist us with our new website design and hosting. So that'll be commencing on February 1st. So that's concludes my report, and I'll be glad to comment as we go along.
Thank you. Fire Chief Newman?
Thank you, Council President, Mayor, members of the council. Just a few things from fire this evening. On Monday, February 9th, we'll have a CPR course. It's a heart saver CPR be held at the Richmond Heights Fire Station from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. We do this in partnership with Richmond Medical Center on a bi-monthly basis. Filling up fast, we have a couple of openings left. If anybody's interested, they can call me direct at 216-383-6304. My contact information is also on our website. We have put in service a new EMS Chase vehicle. Our new EMS Chase vehicle is in full service and it's responding to emergency calls in the city of Richmond Heights. Hopefully you've seen it on the streets. Since January 18th, that's when we put it in service, the Chase vehicle has responded to 27 calls. The response to this vehicle results in staffing availability in the event of overlapping call, which do occur about 16% of the time. So thank you to all members of the council, Mayor, for getting this across the finish line with official staff. Over at the Cuyahoga County Airport, they've had some technology upgrades that impact fire. The Cuyahoga County Airport has been issued 2 public safety radios by Cuyahoga County. The radios have been issued to improve interoperability during mutual aid events when calls over the airport. The radios are programmed with 3 fire department radio channels, so they don't have the full matrix of radios in the area. They just have 3 channels, the ones that we communicate over. Also, they have what's called an OptiCom system, or a traffic signal preemption device. It's called an OptiCom. These have been installed on the gates at the Cuyahoga County Airport. There's a system installed on the gate near the control tower, and the other system is installed near gate C, which is over by Old Milano's restaurant. Our 2 squads, Squad 741 and 742, have a transmitter unit on them, and when they get near the gate, it signals the gate to open, so they don't have to lose valuable time with keys and cards to try to access the airport in the event of an emergency. The addition of this technology upgrade will greatly improve the response to and communication with the airport. So, some very good upgrades over at the airport. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Chief. Yes, Mark.
Chief, in regards to the airport, have they pretty much done away with all their fire stuff over there?
They have fire an airport firefighter, certified firefighter there at very limited hours, roughly 8 to 10 hours a day. They do have a vehicle, kind of a pickup truck-based vehicle that has a limited quantity of firefighting foam and that's suppressant chemical. So it's very limited coverage. They do have coverage, but it's very limited. It's not 24 by 7.
Are we stocking foam here, or is all the foam still over there?
We have a limited supply in Richmond Heights of foam. It comes in 5-gallon buckets. It's 3% foam solution. We have roughly 100 gallons, give or take. But the main cache of foam is through our regional agreement with Hillcrest Technical Rescue Team. Each department contributes to that cache. So we have quick access to a large cache of foam. They do have suppressant solution at this point in time. Our cache is larger than their cache.
Okay, so they're basically relying on the cities around them to supply fire suppression.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, they have a significant reliance on the local resources. 3 local resources that impacts more would be ourselves, Island Heights, and the Living Hills.
Thanks, Jim.
Move on to Police Chief Rowe.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. You think I spoke about operations tonight?
No.
Just a couple more comments about the 2 officers. Don Stookman, the officer with the uniform, he actually grew up in Richmond Heights. He was 13 years old. Went to our elementary school. He calls Denise being his care officer when he was there, and still has good friends who live in Richmond Heights, and he's very familiar with the area. And Kenny, he's lived in Euclid his whole life, so he's well familiar with the area. And, they wanted to come here, and that's always a good sign too. It tells me that they're in here for the long term. They like the community, and they like the area. I think that's important. I want to thank you, Madam President, for the time that you were safety chair and trying since you've been on it, and of course Mayor Roach for all the years that you've been on council. I want to thank you for the support, and I appreciate it. I'm sure the officers appreciate having these 2 officers and us getting kind of back on track to where we should be. That's all.
Yeah, one curious thing, Don indicated tonight he's going to be in the cruiser on the street tonight. So
Really?
I'm not going to let too much grass grow under his feet. He's busy tonight.
That's great. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Will he be going solo, or is he?
No, he's with an FTO for 3 months, but he could have taken a night off if he wanted to go back out tonight on his show.
Nice. Pretty exciting to get the 2 of them. So
Yeah, very
thank
much.
you also for selecting. So we'll move on to Finance Director, Mitch McCain.
Thank you, Madam President, Mayor Roach, members of council. I'd like to start off basically to respond to a question that was posed at the Finance Committee meeting last week regarding the state program and where the revenues get posted. And the fire chief probably, if he were at the meeting, he would have known in about 2 seconds, but it's posted to the Fire Service Fund 203 and the Fire Pension Fund, which is Fund 232. 84% goes to the fire service and 16 to the fire pension fund. So that's how that's been done. Also, I would like to report on income tax collections for January. We received both installments. So as far as January tax collections, we were at $471,000 approximately. Last year at this time it was $461,000. That's an increase of slightly over 2% from last year. Not exactly setting the world on fire, but it's an improvement, and it's early in the year, so I wouldn't read too much into it at this point. Also, we received the first installment on real estate taxes, and unfortunately, I can't really compare to last year because they sort of changed the way that they distributed. as, you know, from what they've done in the past. The first advance amount to $282,000 distributed among 5 different funds. Wanted to talk a little bit about the capital asset project. That's progressing very well. Want to kind of acknowledge the cooperation of all the department heads, and they have been very cooperative. They made sure that they had people and resources available to make it a smooth project. Received an email from Steve Latza at Zupta today. They made it pass through all the departments. The first pass, they're going to spend a period of time, maybe a week and a half, working on the database, and they'll be returning sometime after that to wrap up some of the loose ends as far as some of the inventory items they didn't get the first time around. But that's going very well. As far as the budget, we have met with the service director late last week. Had a very productive meeting. We are planning on meeting with the building director later this week, probably Thursday. And at that point, we will probably sit down with the mayor to go over the rest of the departments, and then we'll go back and see how all the pieces fit together, and if we need to do any tweaking, we'll do that, and we'll be able to have something to present at the next meeting. So that is my report for the evening.
Thank you. We'll move to Building Commissioner Phil Siebel.
Thank you, Madam President, and Mayor and Council, and members of the general public. I only have just a couple of things to this evening. I'd first like to just start by thanking the Mayor, with the help of the Law Director and the backing of Council, for all the time and hard work that they spent to work out the details of getting Jim Uranker hired back into the building department. There were several details to work through, and they spent a lot of time doing that, I know. And he's going to be, his hire is going to go a long way towards getting the building department back to some semblance of normal for the busy season again that we hope is coming up in early spring. And since we were looking out the window at the snow today, we were looking for something positive to talk about, so we started talking about grass cutting programs. So we're going to be discussing our grass cutting program during these nasty days, just for something pleasant to talk about. The other thing I wanted to make everybody aware of is that the Planning Commission did meet with both myself and City Engineer Lee Courtney in January, and they laid out an agenda for the rest of the year in which, absent any other agenda that might come up from time to time from developers, they're going to meet every other month. The next meeting of which will be March 11th, which is the second Wednesday of the month again. And they're going to be discussing during those meetings various economic development topics. With Crystal's help, naturally, the topic for the March meeting is going to be activity at the mall and in the plaza across Richmond Road west of the mall, not the Hilltop Plaza, but the properties west of the mall. And we're going to invite the business owners from those areas to the meeting to give their input and at least bring up the topics that are on their mind to see what can be done with the help of everybody on the staff here to revitalize that area a little bit and revitalize their buildings and properties also. So they'll be meeting every other month again, the next meeting in March, and that's really the end of my report. Thank you very much.
Service Director Donald Krasinski.
Thank you, Madam President, Mayor, and Council. I have two things to discuss tonight, and both of them are snow-related. One's informational, and one is procedural changes that we're doing on snow removal. We put another 400 tons of salt in the salt bin on Friday. That will bring our remaining total to 500 tons that will meet our contract agreement. And we can also purchase another 300 tons after that because we have an option to go above and beyond if need be. So we're looking pretty good with our salt right now, and the way we're putting it down seems to be working very well in the city. The second one is we're making a procedural change on how we do cul-de-sacs as far as where we put snow. In the city here, from where I came from, I've never piled it up in the cul-de-sacs, and that was been a procedure that they've done here for a long time. Followed around school bus and garbage trucks to see how they get around those piles in the center of those cul-de-sacs, and we're going to keep piling it up as high as we can in the cul-de-sac. But what ends up happening a lot of times is that private plowers go in there and they're pushing snow from the driveways from the houses to the cul-de-sac, and they just push it to there. They don't pile it up at all. So when the school bus goes through, now the school bus is having an issue getting around. So we take our wheel loader route and we're pushing it up as high as we can to where it's easy to get around, but in some places it's still a little high. So now we're taking the snow and we're putting it on the widest tree lawn in the cul-de-sac and just dumping it there, and then it brings the pile down a little more versus hauling it out and trucking it out all the time. It doesn't do anything to the lawn. I've had 4 calls today actually, because this was one of the times we went out there and did the bluffs and people were calling. And once I explained to them what was going on, everybody agreed with what was happening. It was just a change, and people are kind of upset when you have a change and they don't know what's happening. So just so you know, in case you get a phone call from somebody, it's something we're going to try to do. There are several different methods we can use to get snow out of a cul-de-sac, and we're just going to do the best, what works the best for us, so that we don't pile it into somebody's driveway. And that's all I have for tonight.
Great, thank you. City Engineer Lee Courtney.
Yes, Madam Chairman, construction is quiet, but we have received plans for 2 new homes, one up the Brush Road, Chardon area, and another one at Highland Ridge. And we received inquiries about pole installations in the north end to be followed by fiber optic lines and some cable installations on Merritt Drive. So things are stirring, and when the weather gets better, we will see some activity.
All right, then we'll move on to Economic Development Director, Crystal Best.
Thank you, Madam President, Mayor, members of council, and community. I just have 3 comments this evening. Excuse me. The first one is about the Chardon Road gas station. I know that there's a lot of anxiousness, I should say, around what's going to happen and when. So I just have a couple of dates that I'd like to share. These are not carved in stone, but they are goals that we have set while working with the Land Bank and the County Department of Development. There is a tentative date of February 15th to select the environmental services professional who will basically create what is called the remediation action plan and make sure that the environmental analysis has been done and will match or meet what is required by the Ohio EPA. Then on March 16th, they are going to hopefully identify the demolition contractor, the testing contractor, and the asbestos abatement contractor based on what was done from the February 15th selection of people to do the environmental services or a company. March 24th, we have fingers crossed and we are working toward this date. March 24th is the date that the execution of the contracts will begin, meaning that the work should start. And by March 30th, Their goal is to be cleaning up the site, last bit of cleanup and last bit of demolition activity, so that by March 30th, we should have a clean site. Again, I don't want you to think this is carved in stone, but these are dates that have been provided to us by the land bank, and if we stay on it and keep the process moving, I don't think that there should be much slip in those dates. So I'm cautiously optimistic that by March 30th, we should have a clean, buildable site there. So I will keep you posted on that. Second thing I wanted to talk about is the Macy's closing. I have received a lot of phone calls and emails. I know that the mayor and city council have as well. On February 25th, which is a Wednesday, the city is going to host another roundtable to talk about what's happening within the city with the residents and the members of the community, not just Macy's, but other things as well. Please keep that date in mind. We are going to use that time, or at least I will, to talk about what I am working on with Macy's along with council and the mayor. We do have a meeting set for probably around the 18th of February with Macy's out of Cincinnati. A gentleman by the name of Jason Williams is coming to this area, and we are going to discuss in some detail what the plan is, and we definitely would love to have input and suggestions from members of the community. So please mark that date, and it'll be a really good lead-in to the March 11th planning meeting, so we'll have more information that we can put toward that project. I will get back to you. It's going to be at the Kiwanis Lodge, but is it 7 to 8:30? For the February 25th, I will.
7 to 8:30.
7 to 8:30, yeah. And it'll be on our website. So please tell people to come. We really want to hear from you. This is definitely something where the more people are involved, the more people are engaged, the better result we're going to get in the long run. And then lastly, from this, I guess it's the rec department, so to speak, I'm speaking on their behalf a little bit. We had our first meeting today about the pool and hopefully getting it open. So that means you're talking about grass cutting, we're talking about the pool, we're looking ahead to spring. We had our first meeting. I will keep you posted on what the plans are for opening the pool. It's a little premature to go into any kind of details, but know that there's going to be a lot of follow-up over the next couple of weeks about what the plan is for getting the pool going. So we're excited about that. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you very much. So we'll open it up to the audience. Any questions or comments from the audience? Yes. Excuse me, will you state your name and your address, please? Thank you.
It may be best to maybe grab one of the mics and go over to
The whole thing.
the whole thing. One or the other.
I don't know. Is it? Okay. As you know, I live by the lake, and so I see a lot of deer traffic, probably more than most people. And I was just wondering if, obviously, everybody's aware the deer population grows and grows. Are we concerned? Are we doing anything? Is there a need to do anything? I'm just asking. I'm not.
Would you like to answer? I guess I'm aware it's growing because they live in my backyard. So,
All of us.
yeah. So, I'm not doing anything. Do you know of any activities?
No, I think there's been a couple of things that are happening. I think the Mayors and Managers Association is trying to get some support from the state. It's kind of been some mixed reactions, so that's happening. I believe there's a group of people that are with Lyndhurst and a few other surrounding communities are looking into some options. I understand I had 5 deer in my front yard, and my front yard's not that big.
Yeah.
just last evening. So I know it's a problem in Ohio. It's a problem in Cuyahoga County. I know the mayors and managers associations trying to work together as a group. So
Northeast Ohio
I'm
City Council also.
in the same thing, yeah.
Yes, they've been working on
So the
it.
city councils and the things, it has been an item, and but we haven't come up with a solution yet, I guess.
Right. Thanks. Any more questions or comments? Okay then. Ladies, we will go to, move to old business.
Yeah, one more.
Really? Oh, sorry. Sorry to remind me. All right, thank you. I'll put it up to that.
It might be me, it might be my age, my eyes, but I have become aware in the last several months that not just in Richmond Heights, but I do not see the striping on the road that well at night. And even the other night, I came out of Dave's and was going over to the mall, and I was actually on the other side of the road. I thought I was going into the left turn lane, but I went too soon, and then I realized, oops, and I went back. But it's to me, it seems like the striping is getting very difficult to see at night, especially on wet nights. I don't know if it's just my eyesight or if it's the age and if it needs to be refreshed or what. And as I say, it's not just in Richmond Heights, so I just wondered if that's anything that's being addressed either.
I noticed by winter in most cities that the lines seem to fade and everybody refreshes in the spring and the summer. So
Actually, we put the new lines down late fall. So
Yeah.
and I think we did. I know
Highland Road
I know
did,
we've
and-
tried to put some glass beads in the paint.
That would be
so
great.
they would even be
Yeah.
more reflective.
Right.
And that might have happened with some mixed results, but that's been our intent the last few years. So it is lines are difficult to see when they're wet and at night. I think everywhere actually.
Comment from the service
whether they're
director?
okay. So either I'm like her, I'm getting older too, or the
Service
lines
director
are
doesn't
fading.
have a mic
I
right
don't
now.
know.
I don't know if that's something you
Yes.
should admit.
Term.
I have a question, and I meant to ask Mr. Courtney when it was his turn for his report. My question is, and it was brought to my attention, when we travel on freeways, Route 290, 271, whatever, those roads all seem to have no chuck holes, no potholes, no cracks, no bumps. You get off the freeway and we're on a roller coaster. We're on this washboard. Does the freeways have a different formula of concrete that they used? Is it in my imagination? But it seems to me like I come down 20, or Route 2 rather, or 90, and it's smooth sailing, and I get off and the roads are like crumbling apart. Is there a different formula? Is it thicker? What is it?
Well, it is thicker because of the truck traffic and everything else, but I think probably the biggest thing that controls the condition, whether it's asphalt or concrete, is that when it comes to the grant money, they get top priority.
Meaning what? Meaning that you get better grade of
They will be they'll be redone more often.
Okay. Because if it is more expensive, if it is a product, that they use different than others, perhaps in the long run, when we start looking at road programs, we might want to invest in that type of material because our roads take a beating.
I think to my memory, 90's redone almost every other year. It seems like.
It's almost like an ongoing project, and
then
So that's what it is. It's just that
in determining grants, one of the biggest factors is traffic volume. And you can imagine the volume on a freeway compared to, let's say, just a state route like Richmond Road we talked about 2 weeks ago. And then there are the local streets where we don't have the ability to print money.
that's the answer, because it seems to me like it's really nice. I mean, on those freeways, it's no chuck holes, no bumps, no grooves. Probably not. Is that bad? Is there? Well, I've been on 90 and I've been on 2, and it seems to me like it's just beautiful. Okay, thanks.
All right, old business.
Ordinance 113-2014, introduced by Lentine, third reading. An ordinance amending chapters 1301 and 1501 of the codified ordinances, place the position of fire safety inspector in the Division of Building, Zoning, and Housing in the Department of Public Safety, specify the method by which fire safety inspectors are appointed, authorize the building commissioner and safety fire inspectors to enforce the fire prevention code, and declaring an emergency.
Move to recommend. We don't, I mean, this has been read several times.
Right.
Move for passage.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
No.
Newman?
Reservation, yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? O'Toole?
Yes.
Ordinance 113 passes. New business, resolution number 9, 2015, introduced by Mayor Roach, first reading. A resolution authorizing an agreement with Paul Ellis to provide assistance to the city's finance department and declaring an emergency.
Entertain a motion?
Move for suspension.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Newman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Yes. O'Toole?
Yes. Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Newman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution number 9, 2015, introduced by Mayor Roach, passes unanimously.
Resolution 10, 2015, introduced by Mayor Roach, first reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a municipal agency agreement with the Cuyahoga County Land Reutilization Corporation for demolition and remediation of the property located at 26102 Shelby Road and declaring an emergency.
Move for suspension.
Second motion.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Newman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Yes. O'Toole?
Yes.
Entertain a motion for passage?
Move for passage.
Second motion.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Newman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Yes. O'Toole?
Yes.
Acceptable. Move to adjourn meeting. Meeting adjourned.
How's that?